Hi, welcome for our online training sessions. In this session, I'm going to explain you the difference between Oracle Fusion HCM employee and non-HCM employee. Non-HCM employee. What is the difference between HCM employee and non-HCM employee? And which scenario we will go for use the HCM employee? Which scenario we will be using non-HCM employee. Okay, so here, if the client has implemented human capital management, if the client has subscribed for human capital management, then we can hire employees. That we call it as a HCM employee. That we call it as a HCM employee. Okay, so then what we will do is, if client has implemented only financials, or the client has implemented only supply chain management. In supply chain management also, maybe our client has implemented only inventory and procurement modules, not order management or some other. So it means if the clients are using Oracle Fusion Applications product, but they are not using HCM. So if they are not using HCM, how they will hire employees? For every employee or for some of the employees, they would like to have user account, right? So that we have to generate in security console. So in that scenario, what Oracle has given is, if the clients are using human capital management, there won't be any problem. You can hire employees directly. If clients are not using human capital management, then you need to hire an employee from the non-HCM page. From the non-HCM page. It means if the client has implemented financials module, or supply chain management, or CRM, or any other domain, then we will go with the non-HCM. Okay, so whether you create HCM employee or non-HCM employee, finally you are going to generate the user account here. You are going to generate the user account here. It is here. We are going to generate the user account. Finally, here it is. Okay, so whether you go for hire employee here or non-HCM, finally we have to go for generate user account, and then we have to go for add users, roles. Then we have to go for data access. Then we will go for LDAP process, and then employees users are going to log in. Users are going to log in. That's a process, right? That's a process. First, I'll show you how we can go for hire HCM employee. Whether you hire an employee at HCM level or non-HCM, we will be hiring at what level? Legal entity level. In HCM or in finance or whatever, non-HCM, we will be hiring an employee. The system will ask us for which legal entity you are hiring and for which business unit you are hiring an employee. I'm going to show you that here. Let's go to the applications here. Let's go to, if you want to go for hire an employee, HCM employee, your user must have the role called human capital management. Human capital management role is required. Let's go to this task here. Now I would like to check this employee is having human resource specialist. No, it does not have, because we cannot find out here. My client groups is there. Yes, he is having. He is having. New person option is there, right? Okay, so sometimes here what happened, this tools menu will not be visible directly. You need to scroll down like this. There will be a more option. If we click more, then you will be able to get it here. Tools menu and security console. And for the current user, this is financial user. It's a implementation user. I have already added the role called human resource specialist. This role is required. If you want to hire an employee, human capital management, HCM employee, this role is required. We don't need any data access. Okay, go to navigator. You will get this option, my client groups and new person. Hire employee. The moment when we try to hire an employee, system is going to ask us identification details, employee person information, means personal details, employment information, compensation and salary information. Finally, review the information and go for close it. Identification details will mention when the employee has joined here in the organization, let's say 2019, and which legal entity employee is working, US1 legal entity, employee first name and last name, and gender, date of birth, I'm going to specify, and go for national identifiers. And social security number. If it is India, Aadhaar card we have to provide. If it is US, social security number. Now let's go for click next button. In person information, home address is mandatory. The remaining fields like employee phone number, email ID, and marital status, these all are optional, not mandatory. Citizenship, visa details, passport information, these all are optional, not mandatory. If you want to go for add brother information like contacts, employee contact details can be added, that anyway not required for us. Here I'm going to mention this employee home address. Now click next button. Now, this is actual tab where we will be specifying employment details. We have already mentioned for which legal entity we are hiring this employee, legal entity in the sense for legal employer. After legal employer, what is the next organization we have? Business unit. Next department, job, grade, location, these all details will be provided. See, after legal entity, then system is asking for which business unit you are hiring employee. Lot of options. I'm just filling only 25 or 30% of information only. Lot of options we have here. It is job name, position name, grade ladders. Okay. So, and full-time employee, part-time, who is the manager, working as manager. Is employee hourly paid or salaried? So, which location employee is working? Working location, who is the manager? For this employee, manager details. We are going to specify all this. We can have multiple managers, right? We can have line manager. I'm going to add project manager is different, like this. Can have project manager and provision period, notice period. Like this, we can go for fill all the employment info. A lot of options we'll get because human capital management is there to capture more information about employment, employees, employee salaries, employee leave management, employee compensation, employee performance. It's purely about the employee related data, right? Human capital. That's why we'll find almost every field to capture the information. Salary details, I don't want to enter anything at this point of time. Just hire an employee and go for complete. So what's the employee number? See, person number is generated automatically here, but not before. After final save, it will be generated. After final save, it will be generated here. Okay. how to search this employee? Go to navigator, same person management. We'll go to person management and search for an employee here. Take some time. John Kiran. Maybe some approvals are exist. Let me cross check once. It's not there. Wait for a couple of minutes. We'll be getting it here. Yes, it may take a couple of minutes. John Kiran is the employee name, and this is employee number, person number. And if we click on this, we'll be getting the employee information in management screen here. Now, I would like to know what is the user account for this employee. Generally, it takes last name dot first name to get the information, and go for it here. User account. We'll be able to find the information here. The user account is generated or not. Now, system is telling us that the user account name is this. The account has been already generated. It's active status. So where do we reset the password and add the roles to the users? Which environment? We'll go to Tools, Security Console. Security Console is an environment where we are going to have the user account. So finally, we are going to have this user account. Let's go to Users tab here and search for our employee. Kiran.John. And we can find here, see, who is the manager and which business unit you hired employee, what is the job name, what is the person number, means employee number. And by default, some roles are assigned automatically. So while creating these roles, they might have mentioned auto provision as yes. It means that role will automatically assigned to all the employees. The moment when you hire any employee, it will be assigned. Okay, this is how we are going to set HCM employee. Finally, the user account is required for HCM employee. Same from here, we have already learned, right, how to perform this actions, adding the roles and all. Here it will be specified over here. Now I'm going to show you how to hire non-HCM employee. This is HCM. If you want to hire non-HCM employee, non-HCM in the sense your client does not have the access to the human capital management. When I say access, he has not subscribed. He has not subscribed for this particular one. He has not subscribed for this human capital management. So we are trying to hire from here. Go to financials or procurement. Go to the task, manage users. This is non-HCM. Because we need at least employee information, right? Without employee, they cannot use the ERP product. But client is telling, I have only few employees. I have only 400 employees or 1000 employees. I don't need human capital management. I just wanted to maintain my accounts only. Accounts only we want to maintain. So then we need Fusion Financials. In financials also, I don't need all the modules. There are around 10 modules in financials. I just need only 3: general ledger, account payables, account receivables. I don't want taxes or expenses or fixed assets or other modules we don't want. So in that scenario, If client is going ahead with that, so we can have non-HCM employee over here. It is. I'm mentioning that here last name as Madan Kumar. Specify your user account and mention employment information as employee. See, it is going to ask you what is the legal employer. It's mandatory. And you are going to have, and what is the business unit. That also you are going to have. So we don't find much information over here. We don't have much information because the client is not using human capital management. That's the reason we are not having more information to capture about the employees here. But still basic information. Okay, this employee is working for so-and-so legal entity and for so-and-so business unit. If needed, we can add job, grade, department, and we can also assign the manager. But we are not able to capture employee home address, phone number, email IDs, or any other information we are not going to capture. Okay, let's go for save and close. Again, even if it is non-HCM employee, finally the user account will be generated. User account will be generated. That we can access from security console. As usual, we'll go for security console here. Users tab. Now we will go for reset the password and go for add the roles and perform all these actions here. This will go for reset. So this is about the HCM employee and non-HCM employee. If you are working in finance or supply chain management, you can just have an idea how to hire an employee in human capital management. How to hire an employee in human capital management. So you should have idea, okay, my client groups and new person like this. If you are working in human capital management, then you should have idea, okay, how to hire an employee if it is for non-HCM. If client is not implementing human capital management, how they will maintain the employees' data. Enterprise structure is common. Enterprise structure is mandatory for any domain, whether client has implemented finance or supply or human CRM, the base is mandatory. Enterprise, legal entity, business unit, reference, data sets, these all are common. But you want to have the employees or not, that is depends on your human capital management subscription. You want to maintain your accounts or not, that is depends on your financials domain subscription. Over here it is. Okay, so that's the difference between HCM employee and non-HCM employee. So this employee also, you can see that so-and-so business unit is working and the person number is generated. And this is the user account. If you want to go for add the basic role, employee role I'm assigning to get self information. Just log out from this implementation user, log in with your employee user. Okay, fine. Madan Kumar has logged in. We assigned employee role, right? So you can access self information. If employee role is assigned, then we'll find this menu called menu and we'll find all these options here. Let's go to personal information. Personal details. this is about the self information. Okay. Thank you.